All right, so as of late, I've been trying my hand at making harps. I've had a lot of successful failures and failing and success. It's kind of a spectrum for me going through. I've been trying to bend up some harps, and it looks like a duck's head. But I've been going through and trying to bend harps, and it's been challenging. This has been deepening my respect for all the people out there that make jaw harps. There's really a lot to it, a lot to angles and radiuses and getting things to come out. Here's some of my failures. A lot of thought goes into having a working model, which I don't have a working jaw harp model yet. I've been at it a little over a week. There was a fail, and oh, here is the harp from the video where I crimped a reed in it. Now, it's not very loud. The gaps are pretty big on this harp. I did a loop trigger, and my crimp didn't quite come out right. But let's go ahead and let's take a closer look at this and see a bit of my failing. Okay, here is my almost harp. Made out of 3/16 inch stock. Large gaps. If you look, the reed is at an angle. It's kind of torqued in there. The crimp is not pretty. This is all new to me. This is all learning. If you take a look at this crimp here, I left too big of a shoulder and wasn't able to quite crimp it down very well. That's learning experience for next time I cut in my channel that my reed's going to go in. I'm going to leave a little bit less metal, less thick metal to back it up so that I can get a better crimp in there. I looped the trigger, heated it up with a torch. That didn't go as bad as I thought it'd be. I tried grinding a good knife blade angle on here. I'm not very good at that yet either. But let's go ahead and compare these gaps. Oh, it's flat here, and then I twist to make my embouchure and reed. And let's go ahead and let's compare it here. Let's take a look at some of my other failings here. There's been like stuff happened like that, and these were all just figurines. And then this one came out off center, but I went ahead and stuck it in the vise, and it ended up being like a duck's head. And that might be the name of my harps. I don't know, duck head harps. And I had things come out like this. And, oh, this was an experimental finish. This is the same seasoning that you would put, the same method of seasoning as a cast iron skillet. It looks like it's brass, but it's actually just a anti-rust coat that I done there. Totally food safe. Same thing that we do with cast iron skillets, and it took to it very, very well. But this, I don't know if I'll ever put a reed in this one. When I cut in the channel for my reed, I'm kind of off center. I might play around with it. This is a reed that was all sorts of off center, and I actually cut in a better channel, and it crimped in a lot better. So I'll use that method. Now let's go ahead and compare my first reeded harp. And keep in mind, I'm a beginner, and this is not an awesome harp, but let's compare it to a toy harp, which has much tighter gaps, much more precise, even in this toy harp, than my first run. Big gaps. Here's even the Whitlow, which I didn't give this a great review, but it's hard to even get gaps that tight. So this is really deepening my respect for all the jaw harp makers. Let's go ahead and get a listen on this harp. A little bit of tea. Let's go ahead and let's get a listen on my harp, or attempt at harp. And it does make noise, but not a lot of volume, big gaps, uneven. Let's go ahead and give a listen, see if we can make some noise out of it. Not a lot comes out of it. It is making some noise though. Let's go ahead and compare it to the mouth harp from Hobby Lobby. So, as far as my first attempt goes, I am not yet to the level of a toy harp yet, but this is gonna be a good journey, and quickly finding out making harps has a pretty steep learning curve. Let's go ahead and compare it to a Whitlow harp. Much better sound comes out of the Whitlow harp than my harp, and they're kind of all similar. I'm just gonna call this American style because it's made in America. But let's compare it to some much finer harps. We've got, where'd you go? Oh yes, we're gonna compare this to a bass to Tarston. Try to keep the sound low because the sound of this harp's pretty low. Much better sound. These to Tarston harps are awesome, especially for the price. You get them around $30. Plays awesome and such tight, precise gaps. I've got a long ways to go before I get to that level of precision. Let's compare it to another kind of oblongish harp. This is a Masco Average, another one of my favorite harps. Amazing harps, and how they get them, you can barely even see the gaps there. That is just impressive, these harps. So I've got a long journey to go before I start producing anything anywhere near that. But that's just a glimpse into my new harp-like object. I was just, when I got the reed crimped in there and then bent the trigger and was able to get a little bit of sound out of it, I was so ecstatic because I've had so many failed attempts at harps, a spectrum of failure. So when I got a little bit of sound out of this, I was just ecstatic, and this is the beginning of a great journey for me. And I'm just going to enjoy it. So I'll play this harp-like object on my way out. Like, share, and subscribe for more harpery. Harp out.